I want to thank Notion for sponsoring this video. There are a lot of productivity rules out there, and there's a specific category of confusing rules that are based on numbers, like the 5-hour rule, the 80-20 rule, the 1-3-5 rule, and while getting to know all of these gets kinda crazy in the end. Today we'll be clarifying what 5 of these weird number rules mean and how you can apply them seamlessly into your routine, and know whether they're good for you or not. This strategy is similar to the Pomodoro technique. The trick is to set your clock so you work for 52 minutes and then take a 17-minute break. If you think these numbers seem a bit random, it's because I think they actually are. While there's some material stating that scientists have found out that this is the exact amount of time your brain is able to focus and the exact amount of time your brain needs to rest, that varies so much from person to person that it seems a bit far-fetched to me. Either way, the goal here is to create a Pomodoro timer that creates bigger intervals of work and bigger intervals of rest, which for some people is essential. Just set a timer for 52 minutes and start working, ignoring all distractions. After the alarm goes off, you have 17 minutes to do something entertaining, until you restart the cycle all over again. From reading a lot of productivity material over the years, I think that there are 2 types of people. People who are only able to focus for half an hour, and people who are only able to reach peak productivity for 1-hour intervals. If you think you belong to the first group, classic Pomodoro method is for you. 25 minutes working and then a 5-minute break. If you feel like you take a longer time to enter your productive mindset and need to work longer to really get in the gist of things, the 52-17 rule is probably a good idea. The 1-hour rule is usually mentioned for author productivity and writing in general. Basically, it states you should commit to 1 hour per day of writing for 30 days. If you do so, you can roughly produce around 15,000 words in a month, which is like 30 pages or so in a regular font format. The purpose here is to turn writing into a habit. Basically, you're learning how to incorporate this activity seamlessly into your schedule, and the thing is, 1 hour isn't really that long. Also, you're able to apply the 1-hour rule to anything you may think of, from drawing, painting, playing video games, and reading. Choosing a consistent time for writing is key to implement this, either during a lunch break, the early morning, or any other time where you can find enough focus to just sit down and write. Committing to 1 hour a day as a general rule means you're basically forbidding yourself to keep writing if you feel inspired to continue, because you probably have more tasks to accomplish after that interval. Also, productivity is variable, so you may feel disappointed with yourself during some of these writing sessions, as although time will be consistent, the quality of your writing may not. If you have a task that can be completed in 1 minute or less, it should be done immediately. Examples are answering a short email or text, putting something away, throwing something in the garbage, or archive the emails in your inbox. The purpose is to get rid of the tiny small tasks that pile up during the day and then become a giant project. Basically, the 1-minute rule tries to avoid the snowball effect. Just get into the mindset. This can take a long time to build, but when you do it, it's very useful. Shift your attention to wonder what you can do in a minute or less and just do it. This is how you can keep a tidy house, the inbox zero system, or even successfully track your expenses. I think the only disadvantage of the 1-minute rule is that if you're trying to accomplish 1-minute tasks while you're trying to focus on a bigger project, it may be harder to keep that focus. If you're writing a long report and get an email and feel the need to archive it immediately because it's under 1 minute, you may be breaking your focus because you're abandoning your main task. Basically, to stay productive, you should completing 1 major task, 3 medium tasks, and 5 small tasks. This rule allows you to stay accountable and have steady progress in your big projects as well as the small things you need to keep track of. Sometimes it's hard to focus on small tasks during a big project, or it may be hard to start a big project while you have a pile of tiny tasks to check off your list. So this method tries to answer that problem. When you're writing down your to-do list, don't forget to categorize your tasks into major, medium, or small. Then you can just pick your tasks off your list to finish 1 major one, 3 medium tasks, and 5 smaller ones. Unless you have a huge and consistent amount of tasks to tackle daily, it may be hard to comply with this rule because sometimes you may have something like 2 major tasks and 3 medium tasks and then 10 small tasks. And if their completion depends on your hierarchy or a teacher, maybe you aren't able to pick your tasks off a list. In case you're a business owner or a self-learner, for instance, it may be easier to accomplish. The 80-20 rule states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. This is how you should be managing your time, focusing on the 20% of tasks that have the biggest impact on your performance and not prioritizing the other 80% as much. When you find out which tasks represent the 20% of your effort that results in 80% of your results, your goal is to prioritize and improve that margin. This means that the 80-20 rule tries to make you work smarter instead of working harder, because there's a lot of tasks that take productive time and energy, but really don't have very visible or worthy results. For instance, you should be saving your best hours of productivity or focus time to the tasks that represent 20% of your effort. You should also prioritize them and taking care of them first before you tackle anything else. Sometimes this rule isn't that clear and doesn't really offer much advice regarding what to do with the remaining 80% of tasks that you still need to tackle, although they don't provide much progress. It's a good rule to allow you to establish a certain mindset, like what exactly do you do that has the biggest impact and how you can improve upon that. But it can fail in being a truly manageable technique to use on a daily basis. And as I usually say at the end of most of these type of videos, these techniques may simply not work for you, and that's completely okay. People think differently, process information differently, and work differently, so there's no reason why you should be blindly following these rules if they are not helping us. And if you want to improve your productivity and start getting organized and planning your tasks, I suggest you sign up for Notion, which is a software I've been using to project plan, take notes, and keep track of my goals. And I've been using it exclusively for almost 2 or 3 years, and since then, I still need to find any type of organization software that actually accomplishes so much. You can count on Notion to help you track and achieve your habits, as well as keeping, reading lists, task management, goal setting, learning, writing, personal development, and so on. I use myself most of these spreads for my own individual planning, and you can duplicate all of the templates in their library to your own workspace, and then customize everything to your needs. The good news is, you can use and explore Notion anytime you want and for as long as you like, because their personal plan is literally free, without any word or block limit. It's the best investment you can make for 2021 because, well, it's free, and to start fresh after a dreadful year, and it doesn't really cost a cent. To start using Notion today, go and click the link provided in the description box to get your free account. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!